Hey there. We're on a different location. We're actually here in my home office where I do a lot of my Bible study, but also do a lot of the being a craftsman things. But today on Scripture Explained, I want to talk about Matthew chapter 6, verse 21. I'm going to be deferring to some notes as we talk about it. And the scripture says, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." So let's put this in a little bit of context. This is chapter 6, but in chapter 5, Jesus is on a mountain and he's giving out a sermon. It's quite famously known as Sermon on the Mount. He talked about what has been known as the Beatitudes, and we can dive into that on a whole other video. But he also talked about divorce, he talked about murder, he talked about adultery, all these different things. And so when we get to chapter 6, he is still talking to these people. These are just ordinary people. And so, chapter 6, we're talking about treasures. And so, backing up to verse 19, I want to read that. We're going to read starting off chapter 6, verse 19. It says, "Do not store up for yourself treasures on earth, where moth and rust decay, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there will be your heart also." And so, what does treasure mean? So, treasure means it's something you hold dearly. So, for example, I would say, I treasure my wife. I hold dearly. And so, looking at this, you either treasure heaven or you treasure earth. Simply that. And so, if you're putting your treasure on earth, that means that you're holding more dearly to the things of earth, whether it's wealth, whether it's material items, you're holding tighter to those things. And so if those things disappear, you're going to feel it, you're going to be really sad, and you're going to have a bad experience. But if you are putting your treasures on in heaven, when we do lose these earthly positions or possessions, you do come to a point of go, you know what, Lord, it doesn't matter because it all burns away. All I care about is you. And so the point of this is to put your treasure in heaven, put your desire in heaven and the things of God. Now, here's the thing. We're all striving for that. We're all still working towards that. We're encouraging one another. And so, that being said, to encourage you, I want to encourage you to fix your eyes on Jesus and put your treasure in heaven, because the Bible also says he will give you the desires of your heart. But if your heart is fixed on heaven, then he will give you those material things that will help you achieve your purpose and your God given calling on your life.